And then we were ready for our main event. And it was Will Ostrich versus Kyle Felcher. And we talked about, again, okay, if they understood that they made a mistake by making Ostrich a heel, putting him in the Phallus family, when the people want to cheer him and they desperately need baby faces because the only baby faces they got are their heels. So they want to back up on that now that he's finished with New Japan a couple months later. They had the match with our boy Take so that there could something happen and they could turn on Ostrich and, you know, that he'd be a baby face and he might have a program that he could start to get over with or whatever. But they just have a match between the two of them at the pay-per-view and then shake hands and hug. And then Don Phallus announces another match between Ostrich and another member of his stable. And that is this with Mr. Felcher. And there is still
Fletcher.
no reason, that's what I said, no reason given for having this match or why he as a evil manager wants his guys to fight each other. Otherwise, they have a great match, which makes no sense. So they have this as the main event, but they've just signed Ostrich for what I assume is millions of dollars. Again, we're disputing Okada's $4.5 million a year, thinking certainly it can't be more than 2 or 2.5.
Tokyo Sports is reporting $3 billion.
For Ostrich.
Of course.
Okay, $1 billion a year. But the point is, there's a lot of money. So you want to introduce this guy in as strong and dominant a manner as possible. So first, if your Take was still where they needed to be pushing him. So they couldn't just beat him like a fucking flunky because he will be something somewhere, sometime, probably not here. But at the same time, it took Will 20 minutes to beat him. So who are we pushing? And now they do the same thing. It's not about what moves the guy can do or how well he can do them or even how great a match he can have if you let him have. How great a match can a great match haver have if a great match haver can be let have a great match? Not applicable. You're pushing the star you just signed. You don't have him go out and do everything that he can do to beat a guy that's been presented as mid-card at best in 20 minutes, and especially when the guy that's been presented as mid-card at best doesn't look like Braun Breaker. He looks like Ball Breaker. 12 years old in the fucking face with that fucking fleshy physique at best. He's got size, but he needs in the gym and ages on his face to make him look like anybody that you would want to have going 20 minutes competitively with a guy you're paying a couple $1 million a year to. Have I made this point? It's not what moves a guy can do. It's whether he should, given the position of his presentation. And with Ostrich's the pay-per-view was his first match since he's been back. I know he's wrestled a couple times on television, but on this run, it's his first TV match. He's starting a full-time contract here, and you can't give him someone with some element of personality. If you want the people to cheer Will, then give him a heel with personality and experience that he can beat in a decisive fashion, showing all of his shit and looking good, but not having that much trouble. Or if you want him to be a fucking heel, give him a baby face that fits the same description that the people know that's been presented as some level of star in the past or some level of talent in the past. This was good athletic shit. It was all modern style wrestling with lots of the video game stuff. But that's not the point. Again, with nobody to cheer for and nobody to cheer against and no reason to have the match and nothing on the line, and a brand new main eventer that needs convincing wins so that the majority of the audience that doesn't know who the fuck he is might find out. Because he's been on New Japan Pro Wrestling on Access. He's been a star on the internet, but he ain't been on American television. The telly. You do that. And the announcers at that point are telling you why this guy is a top guy and what his background is. And then he's showing you. And then he does promos and hopefully tells you how great he is. And then you involve him in a competitive situation. That's how you start out a long-term push and investment in the money that you're spending long-term. You don't give the people his goddamn... He doesn't meet his equal in the ring in week 3 of a 3-year deal. You fucking morons. But anyway, also, and let's face it, I'm sorry, Mr. Fletcher is never going to be a top guy. He will be probably after I'm dead, because it'll take him 10 years in the gym to work out some kind of fucking look and age that face to the point where anybody would take him seriously. But also, when they got in the middle of the ring and started trading chops, I zoned out. And they went to break at 2 minutes until the top of the 10 o'clock hour, and my DVR never came back. But I assume, from what I read on the internet, that Will won and nobody fucking broke up with anybody again. Is that about what happened?
That's about what happened. I will say I really liked it. I thought it was better than the Takeshita match.
I agree with you there.
And of course, the Takeshita match got like 6.5 million stars.
6 7/8. It was Dave's hat size since he's a pinhead.
I thought this was good, but to your point, if you sign someone for main event money with the intention of treating them as a main eventer, you have to start somewhere. And they're not doing it. And we'll talk about the ratings shortly. They're not doing it. And Ospreay is someone they should present that way. He's really good. And he's talented, and people will like him. And he's a talented heel, too. But this is not... Whoever suggested this is the way to just break him away from the Callis family or make him a babyface, or maybe it'll be like a Prince Nana thing, where Callis manages him as a babyface, and the rest of the stable is heels. You never know with AEW. It's nutty over there. But I really liked it. At the end of the match...
And I will agree with you. It was better than the take match because, again, it seemed like parts of that thing, they were just so drawn out because they were trying to have some kind of classic. This, they had to move a little more quickly. But these guys are very athletic. And if they got into a training program that would teach them how to think about the business instead of being indie-minded marks, I believe that they could probably do well. But who knows if they're trainable or not. But otherwise, it's the same shit that everybody else is doing. Just like I said about Ostrich and Take, the same stuff everybody else is doing, just more athletic and a little bit better at it.
At the end of the match, the two opponents embraced because I think they said that one of them used to live with the other one when he was struggling. So they have a friendship.
Well, and there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than a breakup, and there's nothing more heartwarming than two people getting back together after a bitter breakup.
Well, nothing can change the bond between roommates. I mean, they must have had a good time together.
Oh, you mean it was platonic?
It was completely platonic. What the hell were you saying?
They used to live together.
Not like that, you dirty pervert. Get out of here.
I didn't know whether they wanted to try it out before they committed to marriage.
That's not what I was saying. Well, listen, they embraced. They're cool. But then Bryan Danielson came out, and that's where we're going next. Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. Danielson's mad because his wife told him that hair looks good when he left the house. No, I don't know why Danielson has a problem with anyone. I don't know why he's been booked as poorly as he has, even for those of you who love his matches. But that's what we have to.
Well, now, what did he do when he came out?
He came out, and he stared. He made them know that he's paying attention. He sees them. Now, you can't say he acknowledges them because that would be a trademark infringement, but he notices them.
And obviously, with the way he was staring, he intended it to intimidate them.
Yes, all 5'6" of them.